Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that then.
Yep, the only show in America. Well, this and our other show, one of many shows that we have actually. We do this on two shows, and we're dumb enough to put stats next to our predictions and show you just how wrong we are on a weekly basis. And today is a joyous day, or maybe a torturous day, because it's the week after the Vikings season has come to a close, which means we have a bajillion predictions in the accountability session that have come off the board. This is where the completion percentage and the touchdowns start to really level out with 1 month to go in the Write That Down season, boys. Are you ready?
No.
Yes, bring it on.
It's a barrage. It's
going to be a bloodbath.
It's a barrage of just red letters. Generally, it's smaller font sizes. So we'll get to that. Here's how this works, by the way. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Those are the main parameters here. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And if you want to be like Tony and participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send us a message through the Score North app. Send it to Declan, and we'll get you scheduled for some time in the coming months here. A shout out to our friends real quick at Zero Res, helping you breathe a clean, fresh, deep breath in your own home. How long has it been since you actually deep cleaned your home, your carpets, your air ducts? Don't do it yourself and miss a bunch of spots. That's where Zero Res comes in. They'll get the job done in a safe and effective way with their 4.9 out of 5-star rating on Google with 17,000 reviews. You can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $119 when you ask for the Score North special. So call 952-0-RES or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Ask for the Score North special and get that house deep cleaned. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same, Zero Res.
Write this down.
Boys, this is nut cutting time. This is the witching hour, as Scott Hansen would say.
God, I'm going to
write that down, man.
I miss Scott this time. This is the time of year where I'm always sort of melancholy because there's no more Scott for a long time.
Yeah, you need Scott to come in like at key points in your life, in your day, just to come in and remind you this is the witching hour here.
Yes. Exactly.
Where games are won, games are lost.
Where wins become losses.
He's discussed this before, right? How does he go to the bathroom? Does he not?
He doesn't go to the bathroom.
That's insane.
7 hours.
He's got a full thing that he starts on Saturday. I think he said he drinks a ton of water on Saturday, goes to the bathroom a ton, and then like found a way. He's like the Miyagi of not peeing.
There's been times on 40-minute episodes of Purple Daily, like, I have to go. Goodbye. I gotta go. I can't imagine 7 hours of standing up there. Can't do it.
Yeah, man. The guy's crazy, man.
He's nuts.
A psycho. I'm sure he's probably pissed his pants a couple times, but
yeah,
he's got that desk he can kind of stand behind, you know. All right, Jed, we'll start with you.
Goo.
Yep.
Goo. I don't know if we can go through all of these. I'm not going to buzz all of these, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 incorrect season-long predictions come off the board.
Yeah.
We'll just check in on a couple of them here. You said Lewis Cine will lead the Vikings in interceptions in 2023.
Yeah, that was back in, I think, the spring. Incredibly wrong. You know where I feel sort of screwed here? And it's just one that I see. I feel sort of screwed. Justin Jefferson will throw at least 1 touchdown pass. He had 2, if I'm not mistaken, red zone chances, and the plays just were awful.
Was there one called back? Did he throw one that got called back? Am I imagining this?
No, he threw one against Cincinnati that was like into the ground, and then he got then last week in Detroit he got hit. I think you're thinking of that fake punt that got called back.
No,
but that was a Ty Chandler play.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is ugly as hell, and I'm not surprised.
You said the Vikings would be top 10 in scoring defense. They were up until 2 weeks ago, and then they fell out.
So wait, hold on a second. The penultimate prediction: Danielle Hunter will lead his team.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? That's a color coding issue on my end.
Oh, he's trying to screw me.
You were
good cut, Shed.
Let me just make sure. I believe you were given full credit for that one in the database. So I just want to make sure here. Danielle Hunter will lead his team. I'll find it. I'll make sure that you get proper credit. If not, just make a note here. Okay.
Yeah, Bryce Young wasn't benched. He was hurt, and then he came back and started, right? Yeah. All right.
Yep, hurt, not benched.
Okay, let's get on. Let's move on.
Let's stare at this for a little longer.
I've seen
Actually.
enough of this red.
But you did have some good ones here, too.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You said
All
the
right.
Vikings would not lose by 20 points against the Lions. Countered my prediction. You said the Vikings starting quarterback will account for at least 2 turnovers against the Lions. Came down to the wire there. But
By the hair of my chinny chin chin.
You said the Vikings would finish top 10 in explosive plays They're actually second in explosive passing plays this year. And you guys want to rip Kevin O'Connell. The dude is
pass the ball
scheming
68% of the time. Then you'll be able to do that. Yeah.
I don't want to rip him. I'm just talking about trading him to the Falcons in a previous episode of Purple Daily.
You said Zadarius Smith, fewer than 10 sacks. Jordan Addison would finish no lower than 3rd in receptions on the Vikings. He was 2nd. And the Vikings would finish top 15 in rushing defense, total yards, and they did. Congratulations.
Okay.
Nice job.
I'll take that comeback.
What's up for Mackie here? Oh, okay.
Okay. Some bad here for Macadac. I did say the Lions would beat the Vikings by 20 points. Credit to the Vikings for showing some fight. I said KOC after they got to 6-4 would be coach of the year. And then they only won 1 game the rest of the season. I wanted a Nick Muse touchdown at some point. It didn't happen. Said KJ Osborne would have more catches and yards than Jordan Addison. This is a bad beat, man. I said TJ Hawkinson would eclipse 1,000 yards. He had like 985 yards and then got hurt. Jordan Addison would have more yards and receptions than Thielen. Receptions. I find like 3 Declan funny spelling things per Wednesday.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Recaptions.
Yep.
And then Ty Chandler will lead the Vikings running backs in touches in 2023. He should have, quite frankly. They found that out when they finally started giving him touches in December. But some good here, too. I said Ty Chandler would have at least 100 carries for the Vikings this year. He had 102. I said he'd have more 20-yard gains from scrimmage than Alexander Madison. He did. Between now, so late November and the end of the season, Dobbs, Mullins, and Hall would all take a snap at quarterback. They did. And then no individual Vikings running back would have more than 200 carries in 2023. I think Madison had 180, 185, somewhere in there. Okay, what I'm about to show you is not safe for children,
And we can't run through the whole thing because it would take the rest of the day.
I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 25 incorrect listener predictions on the screen here across 3 pages.
Oh, God.
We'll just pick out. Listeners had a rough one here. We'll just pick out a couple highlighted ones. This is a bad beat. Matt said Danielle Hunter would have at least 24 TFLs. He had 23 TFLs, which was tied for the league lead, by the way. Let's see here. Alexander Madison this is from Kudo, would have more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook. That was correct. Ivan Pace will have more tackles than Eric Kendricks. I believe that was correct. And Marcus Davenport would have more sacks than Zadarius Smith. And Zadarius only had like 5, but Davenport only had 2. It's rough. Okay, next page. We can take these KOC, like Christian had KOC top 3 coach of the year. We can probably take that off, right? No one's going to fight me on that. Okay.
No. You're fine.
Another one from Christian here. Alexander Madison would rush for 1,000 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, and 3 receiving touchdowns or more. He had 0 rushing touchdowns this year.
Remarkable.
0.
Remarkable with the amount of red zone carries he got.
It's amazing, man. Like, he was one of the biggest flop starting running backs. He was drafted like pretty high in fantasy leagues too, right? Oh, he's the starting running back.
Yep.
So let's go to the 3rd page here. This is really bad. Justin said the Packers would win no more than 6 games as part of a parlay. Brock had Jordan Addison at 1,200 yards. He came a couple hundred yards shy of that, I guess. Brady said Vikings defense would be top 5 in at least 2 of these 3 categories. Blitz rate was a win, but pressures and turnovers were not. So failed in that regard. So just a really
That's
rough,
what happens
rough week.
this time.
There's
of
a
year.
4th page here too.
Oh boy!
Holy cow! Our guy Chansey said by the end of the 2023 Vikings season, at least one of these 4 Vikings people would not be covering the Vikings anymore. KFAN's Paul Allen, Star Tribune's Ben Gessling, The Athletic's Alec Lewis, or Score North's Judd Zolgad. All of them are still covering the Vikings.
Was Chansey thinking of, a firing, a change in
I don't
beats,
know.
or just a death?
A death? Jeez, Judd.
No, I just was curious what Chansey's state of mind was.
Oh, man.
That's an all-encompassing prediction.
He also said Adam Thielen will score more touchdowns than KJ Osborne, Jordan Addison, and will have more touchdowns than Davenport sacks in 2023. He came pretty close, but Jordan Addison did have the 10 touchdowns on the season. Mm-hmm. So he was wrong on that one. Okay. On the good side, the listeners did finish pretty strong here. So Alex said the O-line will rank top 10 in PFF grade. This is worth a deeper conversation. PFF had the Vikings pass protection as 2nd in the NFL, and their run blocking like 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
Harry said the Jets will finish in 3rd place in the AFC East behind the Bills and the Dolphins. I think that's where they were, kind of where Vegas had them slotted. Austin said Dalvin Cook at the end of the year will have fewer rushing yards than Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Miles from Climbing the Pocket and Purple Daily on Draft said if Dalvin Cook is traded, the Vikings won't have a single 1,000-yard rusher. Brian said Lions win the NFC North. They were the favorites, so it's not quite a touchdown. Leighton has a touchdown. He said the Vikings would be swept by the Lions and win fewer than 3 divisional games. Mm-hmm. Chansey essentially predicted that the Lions would win the division, which is... It was a creative way. He said Ford Field will host a playoff game this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice one. And then Patrick with this touchdown. The Lions will win the North and would have 11 or 12 wins specifically. So they finished strong. Okay, Declan, only 2 things came off the board for you because you only make short-term predictions. You didn't have to sweat through the season-long stuff as much. You said between Jefferson, Osborne, Hawkinson, and Madison, at least 3 of them will have 1,000-yard seasons. But you did say Jordan Addison would catch at least one more touchdown of 35-plus yards in the last 3 games, and he did. So that's a touchdown for you. Whew, so with that, with 1 month to go in the Write That Down season here on Purple Daily, I have the completion percentage lead. Declan has the touchdown lead. I'm at 37.2%. Judd 34.5%. Declan should be up a slot here, 35.5%. Listeners at 21%. Declan with 13 touchdowns. Judd and myself tied at 11 touchdowns. Listeners with 9. All-time career, Declan with a narrow lead completion percentage of 35.5%. I have a wide touchdown lead with 44. So, wow, there you go. There's your accountability session.
I'm gassed.
Let's get Tony in here because we're gassed. We're just going to turn the show over to Tony now, actually. Tony, what's going on? It's a family affair because last week your son Jeremy joined the show, and then he announced that you were going to join the show this week. So I don't know if you want to keep it going. We can just keep your whole family coming on the show on a weekly basis. It's up to you. Thanks for joining us, man. What's your Vikings fan story? When did you become a Vikings fan?
Oh, geez. Since I can remember, back in the day, watching Tarkenton run around the field, and
yeah,
I've been around for a while.
Yeah, you've seen some stuff in.
We both have, Tony. We both seen a lot of struggles.
Yeah, unfortunately. Every year.
And Tony did warn us beforehand. He's like, "Hey, I'm a little down on this team right now, so I might have to bring some negative predictions." That's fine because as you saw, a lot of the accountability session was fans being overzealous, thinking that everyone's going to gain 1,000 yards. So here's how this will work. We're going to start with Tony, over to Judd, Declan, and then I'll round it out. and we'll go around the room 3 different times. So, Tony, if you're ready, you hit us with your first prediction, sir.
Write this down.
All right. Well, I'm like a lot of fans. I bought into last year. You know, they were so good. I'm tired of it. But first prediction, and write this down. By the start of the 2025 season, Quasi and KOC will not be Vikings.
Wow. A house cleaning. So next year will be worse than this year, probably.
I don't trust them going forward. I think they're going to, and this will play into my next pick, but I don't trust them going forward in the draft and keeping the team together.
Okay.
You know, they're nice guys, but
but it's not a nice guy.
I don't want to go another 10 years like a Dennis Green and, you know, and have 4 playoff games in 10 years. No, I want to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old to wait that.
Yeah, the before I die mantra hits a little harder as the years go by on the show.
Write this down.
So, okay, Judd, what's your first prediction?
The Rams will beat the Lions in their wild card weekend game.
Dang you.
The Rams will beat. I think the Lions are just ripe to. I mean, the Lions will be favored, but I hesitate to call it an upset. But Los Angeles will go into Ford Field and win.
I was hoping to make that one first before anyone else got there, but
Write this down.
I have a feeling there might be some sniper no sniping going on here in our laps. So I'll start with this one, thinking you guys might also have it. Write this down. The Browns will win their first playoff game.
That's another fun one.
I think
that's another fun one, man.
Correct?
They are mild
Texans.
favorites, I believe, in that game. And but the Texans, I think, have the better quarterback, and they're playing at home.
Mm-hmm. But
that's going to be a fun one.
I mean, I guess both of them are kind of inexperienced, but I'll have the Browns beating the Texans. Write it down.
Say Joe Flacco's inexperienced?
Well, not Joe Flacco, but like the Browns. I mean, they went 2 or 3 years ago. They haven't been in the playoffs. Texans haven't been in the playoffs in a while. Just they haven't been to the dance before. Gotta be in the dance to know what you're doing.
There's also like Joe Flacco is averaging 350 yards a game or something since he jumped on board, and like there was a version of Joe Flacco the 5 years previous. Like there was a reason why that dude was on his couch. So we're just kind of waiting for that guy to show up again, maybe.
Joe might throw three picks in that game. I could see that.
He could. Yeah.
Write this down.
Wow, I'm shook because I really wanted to predict the Rams. So the rules are you can't make the same prediction as somebody else on the same episode. Yeah, how do I one up that though? Rams will upset I'll say
by a point differential or
I know, but
or a Stafford or throw Stafford into the mix.
Yeah, get spicy.
Okay. The Rams will upset the Lions, and Jared Goff will turn the ball over at least twice.
There it is.
And that kind of opens up to the other episode of Purple Daily we did today, which is it'll leave doubt in the minds of the Lions over who their quarterback should be next year, and then maybe they'll flirt with the little Kirky boy.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Tony for his second prediction.
All right. Write this down. Justin Jefferson will not sign a contract extension by the end of this season.
So by the end of
I'm not saying he's going to another team or something, but he won't sign a contract extension by the end of this season, mainly because of the quarterback situation. He's not going to know what's happening.
Yeah. And so can we say so that Tony doesn't get screwed on this, he won't sign a contract extension with the Vikings? Because if he were to get traded or demand a trade and then sign with somebody else, we want Tony to get the credit for that
with
prediction.
The Vikings in 2024. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be I mean, if they don't get something inked, he's not showing up for training camp. So they've got to figure out something in the next 6 months or so. We'll see.
Write this down.
Okay. Judd?
Either Lewis Cine or Andrew Booth Jr., one or the other, or both, won't be on the Vikings opening day roster in 2024.
Wow.
I got a feeling they're gonna probably be a trade of some sort for a late round, for just a very late round pick. But I think one of the two, despite the fact you don't save a thing, I think one of those two. I mean, Booth was starting fights late in the year. He couldn't get on the field. He didn't look good. Cine can barely get on the field, despite the fact that Flores' goal is to play 11 safeties. I think one of those two isn't on the opening day roster next season.
Okay. That would be pretty epic if one of your first or second round picks 2 years later was just off the roster, but
I know.
Write this down.
But here we are. Dex?
All right, write this down. Talk about teams peaking at the right time. So I'm going to say this. The Bills will make the AFC title game. So I think the Bills will win their next 2 playoff games. I think they'll take care of business against in their first round matchup. Hell, they could actually still host an AFC. They're the 2 seed, correct? So if the Chiefs get knocked off, or not the Chiefs, the Ravens, get knocked off at some point in the divisional round, they would get a AFC championship home game in this scenario. So Bills, AFC title game. Book it. Write it down.
How about, you guys remember like 6 weeks ago, the Bills and the Eagles played that epic game, back and forth, high scoring. It was like 75 or 80 combined points. And the Eagles barely eked out the win. And they played really well to win that game. But the Bills also played really well. And the next week is like when things went completely sideways for the Eagles for the rest of the season. And it's where the Bills got on track and basically won the rest of their games. So the Bills since that game have been one of the probably 3 or 4 best teams in the NFL. So super interesting.
Write this down.
Write this down. I think Kwesi will trade up in either the first or second round. So they've got a fringe top 10 pick in both rounds. I think he will trade up in either the first or second round of this year's draft. We'll see. Well, if it's for a quarterback or for something else.
Write this down.
We'll see. And that brings us back to Tony here for his third and final prediction.
Well, write this down. This has to do with the draft too. That Michigan quarterback, everybody's been high on him. Write this down. J.J. McCarthy will not be a top 6 quarterback taken in the draft.
Oh, okay.
6.
I don't see it.
Yeah. What if the Vikings draft him? What sort of headspace would that put you in? What if they draft him in the first round, Tony?
Here we go.
That's why Kwesi's gone. That's why Kwesi and O'Connell are gone.
Yeah, I don't think he has the arm to be he can run around a little bit, but I don't think his arm is there.
Yeah. Harbaugh did call him the best quarterback in Michigan history. Now, Tom Brady was a quarterback, I think, at Michigan. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, in the late 90s. But I guess, in fairness, Brady wasn't necessarily a star quarterback in college, which is why he fell. But
5th round? Wasn't he 5th round?
Sixth round.
Yeah.
6th round?
Yeah, and he and Drew Henson, right, both played that season.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Drew Henson, man. He drafted by the Yankees, I want to say. So,
He was.
anyhow, well, Tony, we appreciate you coming on the show here and bringing your predictions. Is there anyone, since you've got this life-changing platform right now on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get to this pinnacle moment?
Well, just thanks to my dad for introducing me to the Vikings and my boys for keeping me involved in them. Ryan and Jeremy. There we go.
Yep. Awesome, man. Well, Tony, good luck with your predictions.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on, man, and we'll do it again sometime.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, there we go. Guest listener predictor Tony on the show. Jeb, before we make another round here and get to our final predictions, let's say hi to our favorite pet food, Nutrisource. Maya Mackey, always jumping around, just big old smile on her face whenever you bring that new bag. Went to Chuck and Don's yesterday to get a new bag of Nutrisource chicken and rice.
I didn't see you there.
No, I saw you, but I just ducked into a different aisle.
Yeah.
Good,
Both
excellent.
of you would do that. Yeah, that sounds right.
Because I went there because I got that look, and when Stella gives me that look, I know that I'm in trouble. So I also went to Chuck and Don's and picked up a big bag of her favorite Nutrisource pet food and her treats because that's what she loves.
Vinny boy, oh man, at like 1 a.m, I heard the jingle jangle off the bed. Dad, get up. I gotta go potty. All right, we'll go potty. And then he comes inside. Dad's got one eye open, 40% awake, and he goes right to the treat counter thinking, oh, I've duped Dad. I did have to go potty, but this also means I get my Nutrisource treats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a Nutrisource retailer near you. It's the official pet and dog food of Purple Daily and Score North. Also, a shout out to our friends over at AG1. So I have been big time into the travel packs lately. The AG1 travel packs. You can get it in travel pack form, as you can see on the YouTube channel. Also just in scoop form too. But This is foundational nutritional supplement material here that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, immune support. I discovered AG1 7 years ago now, I believe. I heard about AG1 on the Tim Ferriss podcast, and so now it's kind of fun to be able to sit here on this podcast and others and talk about how AG1 has improved various aspects of my life, my energy levels. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1, 1 scoop mixed with your water every morning, afternoon, whenever you want to mix it in. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2, just a little drop under the tongue, gives you that vitamin D for the day, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/purple daily. That's drinkag1.com/purple daily. Okay, Judd, what's your third and final prediction?
I'm going to return to the theme of trying to predict who's going to win in Super Wildcard Weekend.
Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super wild.
You know, I thought the Eagles were just going through a rough stretch for a while, but this rough stretch has continued. And when you lose to the Cardinals at home, give me a break. So Tampa Bay will beat Philadelphia on Super Wild Card Weekend. Tampa Bay will beat Philadelphia.
Let's make Swifties pay for Peacock Streaming Network now. How about that? Put that Chiefs game behind that paywall. Peacock, hey, Swifties.
Yeah,
watch Travis Kelce, you got to pay up.
What I love is people are upset. It's like, you know that there's X amount of games, right? That each network has the right to move to a streaming platform. Did you really think they were going to take the worst game and be like, you know what? Let's give the fans a break. We'll put the good game on NBC and we'll put a couple of slappies on Peacock.
It's time for some Taylor. Look at her. She's hugging folks.
Don't rip her at the Golden Globes, though. Don't make fun of Taylor at the Golden Globes.
Did you guys so I went when I was in Seattle, we went and saw Joe Coy do us because he's from I think he's maybe from Seattle, but from Philippines originally. He did a stand-up set and it was great. And he brought out he was dating Chelsea Handler at the time. And so she came out. He was funny and he was great. Dude, that was like a career-altering bomb at the Golden Globes, man. He started ripping he got nervous and started he's like, these jokes aren't funny. Blame the writers gave me these jokes. Like, whoa, dude.
I saw that clip. What's up with that?
Yeah.
I only had 10 days to prepare. Dude, what have you been doing the last 10 days? You're going to be on national television.
Yeah. I've seen his stand-up before. I've laughed my butt off, but that was painful. That was awful. That was not a good look.
Bring back Ricky. Get Ricky back. Get
Ricky
Gervais back to rip Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, any number of people would have been. I mean, hell, at one point, Jim Gaffigan came up to do to present one of the awards, and he did 2 or 3 little zinger jokes. I'm like, dude, Jim Gaffigan could have gone up there for 15 minutes and just slayed it like a professional and not rip the writers, So, anyways, okay, back to predictions here.
All right, I'm going to make a 3-item parlay on Super Wildcard Weekend.
Oh, you're not screwing around.
So write this down. Every road playoff team in the NFC, Packers, Eagles, Rams, will win their respective games on Wildcard Weekend.
Wow, dude. Wow, okay.
Packers, I think Eagles and Rams, yeah, I feel confident in those. It's the Packer and Cowboy game, and can Mike McCarthy have a classic pie-in-the-face Mike McCarthy playoff moment again? That's what I'm mostly banking on here. I think the Packers can keep up to a degree, but can Mike McCarthy just, keep stepping on that rake like Sideshow Bob in Simpsons episodes as he does in playoff games? That's what I'm banking on. So Packers, Eagles, Rams, all win on Super Wild Card.
McCarthy doesn't last, I don't think, if that happens.
No, if he gets beat at home Wild Card Weekend,
former team.
And by the way, if you're Jim Harbaugh, you might want to wait a few days to make a decision. Chargers have an offer out. I'd give it 1 more week. See if that Dallas job opens up. I don't know how Jim Harbaugh and Jerry Jones would operate together.
It'd be glorious to watch, wouldn't it?
Be fun to find out. Declan, you've inspired me here. I'm going to make a 6-game parlay prediction here
Oh,
for
my
Super
goodness.
Wild.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You know what?
Baratabarian right here.
Go. I want to hear this.
Okay. I know I have, in a previous edition of Write That Down, told you that the Browns are going to go to the AFC Championship game. I'm going to hedge that prediction. So the first leg is Texans at home. They'd be upsetting the Browns technically because they're 2.5-point underdogs. So to give me the Texans at home, I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Bills over the Steelers. Cowboys over the Packers. Rams over the Lions. This last game is so tough. So tough. The Eagles are such a train wreck. A.J. Brown is out.
Yep.
But it's Baker Mayfield, too. Do the Eagles have one last Undertaker sit up and choke slam somebody?
Oh, man.
I'll take the Eagles.
Okay.
I'll take the Eagles, and then they'll get smoked in the divisional round. So there it is. Give me the Eagles, the Rams, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Texans for Super Wild Card Weekend.
6. Wow. What a parlay.
So there we go. Okay, those are the predictions here, boys. Let's do a little quarterback cesspool challenge, playoff edition. We'll get you the results here, the final regular season results. This is, if you're new, every Wednesday, a weekly celebration of bad quarterback play in the National Football League, where each of us picks a quarterback we think is going to perform like crap, and then we keep track of their overall QBR for the week, and then our team's QBR for the season. So it's like an eliminator league where like you can only pick a quarterback once per season during the regular season. We'll talk about playoffs here in a second. Scoring is just lowest QBR. If your quarterback doesn't play, you get a default QBR of 50, which happened to me again with Taylor Heineke this weekend. It's ridiculous. So we'll close the chapter on the regular season, which is just a victory lap for Declan, dominating the regular season. Dude, just picked up his
Mason Rudolph with a 69.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph was the best quarterback of the 3 we picked. So Declan had Jared Stidham for a 29.9. I had Taylor Heineke and he didn't play, so the rules say I get a 50. We're going to change these rules next year. And then Mason Rudolph did 69 for him. Bailey Zappi was the worst quarterback in the league for the Patriots. He had a 1.8 QBR. That was Declan's 9th weekly victory of the year.
Oh, yeah.
You got hot late, too, because I think I was within one of you or tied in wins at one point.
You know, they say I have bad takes, but I know my bad quarterbacks when I see them. Let me just tell you.
Very, very nice work.
Dominant. Judd had 5 wins on the year. I had 3, and pretty much all of them came early. And on the season, Declan ran away with the season-long average QBR, a 34.5 average QBR. Judd, 46.6. I'm at 51.6. So with that, here's what a few listeners have proposed for the playoff edition of this. We'll start with this tweet from Al Strain. Here's how you guys should do it. Do all the playoff games, so wild card division and then conference championship, and the 2 lowest cumulative scores for those 3 weeks play each other in the Super Bowl. Low score gets to choose their Super Bowl quarterback, and whoever's quarterback has the lowest QBR in the Super Bowl wins. Do we all agree this is great logic?
Yeah.
This is a great setup? Okay.
Here's my only question, and I don't even know if it's really possible or if this even matters, but there's going to be slim pickings, and we can't repeat because in the regular season,
we can
can't
repeat
quarterbacks.
We have to repeat.
Okay, cool. Because I think we might run into some trouble. So that was my only question. Can we repeat for the playoffs in the event that this happens? Okay.
Yeah, I think in the playoffs, I think you can repeat. You could, if Mason Rudolph somehow kept going, whatever, like you can ride it. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
And there won't be weekly winners for this. It'll just be, we're looking for cumulative bad QBR from the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, and then whoever has the lowest between the 3 of us, the 2 lowest, will play each other in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I have the draft order selfishly in reverse order of the regular season standings, unless you guys tell me that that's unfair. So it would mean that I pick first in the wild card round. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
Judd second. Declan's been picking third. Declan's been picking third for a month and still wins.
Prefer it. I would defer my first overall pick at this point. Yep.
So
no, I wouldn't for this one actually.
Oh man, part of me, but I just picked I just picked the Texans to beat the Browns two seconds ago. But I feel like it's possible C.J. Stroud as a rookie as a rookie quarterback in the playoffs for the first time could soil himself. But I got to go Mason Rudolph. He's the worst quarterback of everyone playing here. They're playing on the road against a red hot Buffalo team. I'll take Mason Rudolph with the number 1 pick.
I wish I knew how the QBR stew was done exactly, because it's very obviously technically a little bit convoluted, draws on lots of things. But there's a very interesting choice here that I'm about to make, and it's based on the weather this weekend, where it's going to be brutal in some parts of the country. That includes Missouri. It's going to be very, very cold in Kansas City. And there's going to be a quarterback from Miami playing in Kansas City.
Oh, this is great.
In those awful conditions. And he ain't going to like it.
Nope.
His team ain't going to like it. So I'm going to take Tua.
Wow, dude.
Not based on the fact I think he's bad, but I think the conditions are going to play havoc with that game.
Conditions are tough.
Conditions are tough. I can't believe he's off Nike. I only think, I think Michael Jordan, did you not hear that Nike dropped Tiger Woods 2 days ago?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
He got dropped.
Like when I think Nike, I think Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods, like 1 and 2, no problem. And Tiger is now no longer with Nike. But Nike has also like kind of gotten off of golf to a degree. Like I don't think they make clubs anymore. They do sponsor some guys on tour. Yeah. But like it is very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So I wrote down, as you know, game planning for 3 different options here. I wrote down Tua or Rudolph if I was able to get there, and obviously had my security option here. So I'm going to take Baker. I'm going to take Baker
Mayfield. He's your
Mayfield.
guy, dude. He's your guy.
I like Baker, but I think even though the Eagles are struggling, and this is still obviously a home playoff game for Tampa Bay, I like the Eagles getting in Baker's face a little bit here, and I'm going to take Baker Mayfield for my pick in the quarterback cesspool challenge.
Okay. So there you have it. Mason Rudolph, Tua Tagovailoa, and Baker Mayfield. Come on down for Super Wild Card Weekend Cesspool Challenge.
I love, the divisional round is always my favorite week of the football calendar year. I love the divisional round in the playoffs, but Super Wild Card Weekend is creeping up on it.
It's
really creeping up on it.
It's a lot. And now that it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday Night Football.
And then you're building in like short weeks for teams in the divisional round too,
But
right?
the
It's
divisional
kinda
round
real
is
weird.
because traditionally that I think is the best football.
Yep. Top 4.
I think that's the
love
best football. Conference Championship Sunday used to be my favorite, but I think divisional round has passed it now.
Because you get
Just 'cause
4
of-
games in divisional round, and you
you
get the
should
1
get good
seeds
games.
reintroduced. Yeah,
This weekend is susceptible to some horse bleep.
yeah, but odds are you're going to get at least like a game a day that's going to be worthwhile, right? Hey, I have, before we wrap this episode, boys, I have a good one for you.
I want a mock.
It's mock season. And we're keeping track of all the mocks that we do on this show and across, if we do any on any other podcast, if we do any over on The Scoop or whatever. So we will keep track of sort of the players that most often go to the Vikings, and we'll keep our eye on trends here. And one of our favorite NFL mock draft sites is draftblaster.com.
Oh, I thought we were going Wally. I thought we were going Wally.
No, draftblaster.com. The thinking man's guide to the draft is their tagline.
With a name that has nothing to do about thinking. Like Draft Blaster.
Draft
the first
Blaster.
thing, you just think about some like Yahoo in his mom's basement, and it's like, no, I'm the thinking man's guide.
Yeah, this is no Yahoo, man. This is Draft Blaster, and they just updated their mock draft yesterday. Let's go through it. They got the Chicago Bears with the number 1 overall pick taking Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Ohio State.
Second time we've seen this?
Yeah, I think it's like the 3rd time we've seen this.
Okay.
Number 2 to the Washington Commanders, Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC.
Yep.
Number 3, Patriots, Drake May. Okay, then Cardinals take Washington receiver. Chargers take Joe Alt, local kid, Notre Dame tackle. And then the Penn State tackle to the Giants. Dallas Turner, the edge to Tennessee at 7.
Mm-hmm.
With the 8th pick, the Falcons do go quarterback here. They take Michael Penix from Washington as the 3rd quarterback off the board. Okay, Bears take the Georgia tight end. Jets take Amarius Mims, the offensive tackle from Georgia, and that puts the Vikings on the clock with the 11th overall pick, according to DraftBlaster.com.
Draft Blaster.
Thinking Man's
No,
Guide
it's
to
the
the
Thinking
Draft.
Man's Guide.
Where the Minnesota Vikings select out of the University of Louisiana State, Jaden Daniels, quarterback. There you go.
I want a mock.
I like it.
So that's the second one today. We had the one from The Athletic with Jaden Daniels also falling to 11.
So the Bears blew out their OC today and a few of their offensive coaches. Do we think there's any chance in hell that Justin Fields is kept there and that they don't draft a quarterback and do try to go Harrison to pair him with DJ Moore?
Yeah. We haven't. It's funny because we mostly just talk Vikings on this show, and we are going to make more space for just NFL talk, especially the next few months. But I don't know why this is a decision. I know this is a big debate in Chicago and Chicago sports radio and podcasts and YouTube. It's like Justin Fields is measurably below average in every meaningful category except mobility as a quarterback. And he's now entering the time where you have to think about paying him a lot more than the rookie scale wage.
And yeah, exactly.
What are you like? Okay, maybe he could become something bigger, better. Maybe he was held back by scheme or whatever it may be. But at this point, how many quarterbacks get through 3 years and are still inaccurate, bad decision makers, are still, the guy completes 60% of his passes in 2023. This is such a no-brainer. And maybe it is a no-brainer for the Bears. I'm just saying, the fans that are debating this, if as a Vikings podcast host, Vikings fans, we should want the Bears to keep Justin Fields and sign him to some dumb contract. The Bears moving off Fields and drafting Caleb Williams is bad for the Vikings. So I don't know why this is even a debate among Bears fans.
Well, and Ryan Poles didn't draft him, so it's not like there's a pride thing here.
Yeah.
But I will say this. If you took Marvin Harrison and paired him with Moore, that is phenomenal. But to what you're saying, then who's going to throw him the ball? And can that person throw them the ball accurately? And that would be my question.
The Bears could also, I think, if they wanted to, I don't know if teams would play ball here, but they could trade up back into the top 3 and have 2 picks if they wanted to. They have so much draft capital. If they wanted to go get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., if a team would play ball with them.
Yeah.
So
the Bears could be scary. I don't know that they've got the right coach, but the Bears could be 2 years away from being very, very scary.
In fact, if the Bears were to fire Matt Eberflus, hire Jim Harbaugh, and draft Caleb Williams and move off Justin Fields, I'd be very, very nervous for the next 5 years. But to this point, they aren't.
I want a mock.
All right. So there's another. It's the 3rd Jaden Daniels to the Vikings mock we've seen in the last 48 hours, at least the ones that we are doing on these shows.
Oh, the cousin stands are going to think that you're
Dude,
making this up.
Blame
DraftBlaster.com. Mackey made up Draft Blaster.
Draft Blaster, the thinking man's guide to the draft, has Jaden Daniels going to the Vikings. All right, that's a wrap today here. We've got plenty more reckless speculation and discussion about the Vikings' future tomorrow and Friday and Saturday and the next day right here on Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.